Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Friday night. I just came back from boxing, sparring. I'm going to talk about that. I go spar Wednesday night, Friday night, and sometimes I go every day to boxing, not the weekends, but Monday through Friday. The mornings on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and the evening sparring session on Wednesday and Friday. Sometimes I spar in the morning too if somebody's there who wants to do it. I don't have a lot to say on the market today. We had a nice little bounce. The market was like really oversold. We had very high levels of bearish sentiment, very low levels of bullish sentiment. So it was bound to happen. And the other thing I want to add, which I have been talking about, is that the fiscal flows are just like, they're blowing through the roof, man. We already have a 1.12 trillion net government transfers, aka the deficit. You know, I don't use that term. I call it net government transfers. I mean, that's up over 300 billion. That's up like 310 billion over last year at this time. So that is very significant. That's one of the reasons too why somebody asked me, what about gold? Gold is going up on, we have a very strong monetary condition going on. And so it's normal to see that. And I just think that the stock market got way ahead of itself on the downside. I mean, investors have really been panicking over the tariffs, and we have yet to see the impact. Okay, I look at customs tax deposits every day, every week. I look at them year over year to see if there's some acceleration in that, and so far there has been none. So we'll see what's going on. If I see any sort of an acceleration in that, obviously, that would be a red flag, but the fiscal flows are blowing through the roof. I don't see any acceleration in customs tax deposits, which would be, that would be a function of the tariffs. And so the market got way ahead of itself on the downside. Now, there was an explanation for it, as I've been talking about this very significant increase in reserve assets, and that is destabilizing. And but eventually, the market we reached kind of an equilibrium on that, and I think we might be there now. We got a tax drain coming up next week. We have the April tax drain. We have the May 1st tax drain. We have a June 15th tax drain. So no government shutdown, from what I understand. I think they got to still finalize this thing by 12 midnight tonight. Then it goes to Trump for his signature. And but nothing in there about the debt ceiling. But I think there's still time on that. Anyway, I want to talk about boxing a little bit. Look, I'm going to tie this in. Look, there's a lot you can learn from these kind of activities, not just boxing, but anything that really tests your mental. It's not just physical. I mean, tonight, first of all, I don't think I did very well. Like I always say, like, progress is not linear. You got some good days, you get lousy days, you get good days. Hopefully over time, you get better, you improve, you progress. I didn't feel like I did very well today in the ring, but more importantly, I felt like I quit a little bit. And, I've done many videos on quitting and how that is something you should fight against with all your might and all your capacity, because nothing will ever get accomplished in your life if you are a quitter. And one of the things, that I've seen since I've been writing my report, and, it's on a subscription basis, There are people, there are subscribers who've been with me since the very beginning, okay? 2016. I mean, I give these people a lot of credit. It's wonderful. But there are many, many others who, they quit. And I'm not trying to focus this on my report. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to to talk about an idea, this idea of quitting. And let me relate what happened tonight in the ring. I want to do 8 rounds. When I go there, I want to do 8 rounds, okay? Whether I feel like it or not. And let me tell you, like, when I go to spar, I got anxiety, like, when I'm on my way over there. I try to, like, kind of reframe it in my head. It's good. You're going to get punched in the face. You're going to get punched in the head. This is growth. It's okay that this happens. And you need to have it happen, and like you gotta reframe it. But I have anxiety when I go there. I'm fighting guys a lot younger than me. Like I'm 68. I'm gonna be 68 next week. Not next week, next month. And these kids, they're in their 20s. All right. Some of them compete. So like, I go there and I have like a commitment to myself. The other aspect is committing to something. If you commit to something and you really stick with it, you don't allow yourself to quit. And tonight I went 4 rounds. Yeah, I was gassed out, but I'm not using that as an excuse. The quitting was a mental quit, okay? It was my mind just not having the guts to keep going. And that pissed me off more than anything, that I allowed myself, my mind, yeah, I was tired, I was gassed out. But even if you're tired in the ring, like, you could just, I could do a rope-a-dope, I could hold guard like this and, so I'm going to get punched. I'm going to get punched anyway. I could recover at least somewhat by just standing there and taking the shots, which I did quite a lot tonight. But I only went 4 rounds. And I always say to myself, I want to go 8 rounds. Now, what happened? That's mental weakness. That was mental weakness. And I'm telling you guys, whatever you do, when you put yourself to the test, you have to fight very, very hard to overcome that mental weakness. The market subjects us to this all the time. All the time. You could have positions on, you could be an investor, you watch your account going down, balance going down every day or whatever, and you freak out and you quit. You allow your mind to get soft, to get weak, and to force a behavior that is so against your interests. That's a weak mind. And I had it tonight. And it pissed me off. Like, I don't care if I care if I don't do well in the ring. But as long as I went the distance that I say, that I committed to, that is a success in its own right. But when I do poorly, which is going to happen from time to time, again, I'm fighting young kids, much better than me and with a lot more stamina, and the cardio is better. As long as I go and meet my commitment, my 8 rounds, I went halfway. That is pussying out to the maximum. And that makes me angry at myself. That makes me angry at myself. And it's just like you gotta pick yourself up again. Next week is another week. Wednesday I'll be in there. And I gotta force myself to do what I commit to do. And you gotta do the same thing. You guys gotta do the same thing. It's so important. But by the same token, as human beings, and the way our minds function and our reaction to discomfort and pain, it is so easy to just say, that's it, I'm done. No mas, no mas. It is so easy. And you know what? That's so weak. That is so freaking weak. You have to fight against that with every fiber of your being. And it's all mental. The body's going to feel tired. Those kids in there, I'm telling you, even though they had better cardio than me and better stamina, believe me, they were tired. And I was getting some shots off on them too. Plenty of shots off on them. I quit. And that sucks. And that really pisses me off. So luckily, we get a chance to do it again. That's the thing about life. We always get a chance to do it again. And you got to remember from the last time, like, you quit. You can't do that again. No matter what, you cannot do that again. You have to shut it down in your brain and just bite down on that mouthpiece, even metaphorically, and just keep on going. You cannot quit. You know, and I've spoken about these Navy SEAL things. I'm not a Navy SEAL. I never served in the military, but like, their stories are fascinating stories about resilience and the ability to kind of compartmentalize in their minds the discomfort. And, you know, if you watch any of these, you know, films, if you watch any of these documentaries on the Navy SEALs, if you read anything about them and the hell week that they go through, the buds, all of the instructors will say, you know, we got guys that come in here, they're ultra marathoners, they're you know, professional athletes, they're you know, weightlifters or whatever. And the ones who make it are the ones that could just keep pushing forward, that they don't quit. It's not about physical ability. All right? Same thing like in our game with investing and trading. It's not about just being some brilliant stock picker. All right? I talk a lot about Warren Buffett, how like he made most of his fortune buying very plain vanilla stocks. You know, some of his earliest holdings that he held for a long time with things like Coca-Cola and insurance companies. He was never really into the technology area. Maybe just recently, you know, he bought Apple or something some years ago. That was like his first foray into technology. But like, his strength is his mental game. It's his discipline. You know, and like, I've always said, like, if the market was a person, its job would be to fool you, to get you turned upside down, to get you off of your game plan, to inject stress and discomfort and uncertainty into you so that you would sabotage yourself. And it would be very, very successful. It is very, very successful at doing that. We have the power to neutralize that in our minds, but we often don't, because it's human nature. Like, it's really, really hard. So, yeah, man, I mean, like, I talked a little bit in some previous videos about my hike across the Grand Canyon. I mean, you know, it's the same kind of thing. It's like, it's just mind over body, mind over yourself, over your person. Like, you got to shut it down. You just got to keep going. You got to bite down on that mouthpiece, metaphorically, put your head down and just keep going, keep punching. I got to do this again next week. Like, I'm disappointed tonight, but like, that's how we grow. That's how we learn. You know, the most important thing is to understand, like, I'm not going to do this the next time. We get another chance, but don't waste the chances. Don't waste them. Like, use them. It's like climbing up a ladder, man. It's just like you got to put, one rung after another, 1 foot up, grab one, go higher and higher. You don't go halfway and say, like, I can't make it. Why can't you make it? It's all up here. Anyway, that's it. Friday night, folks. Please like and subscribe, and go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com. Sign up for a 30-day free trial to MMT Trader. Have a great weekend. Bye.